This is a beautifully modified 2017 Skoda Rapid. Every modification on this car is either OEM or totally functional, like these wheels. These are Skoda Kushaq Monte Carlo OEM wheels. These are 17 inches in diameter and they are running Michelin rubber, which is the best. Inside of the wheel, you can notice these are much bigger brakes than the puny 256mm. These are 288mm OEM GTI brakes. Totally functional and OEM. Let's move to the rear. At the rear, you can notice that there are no drums but discs instead. That is right, we have done a rear disc conversion on this car, which is OEM out of a Polo GTI as well, and the entire rear swing arm is out of a Vento, the older Vento. Now the owner has also installed this beautiful 3-spoke steering wheel with buttons on both the sides. Now the stock Rapid cannot take buttons on the right hand side because the meter cannot be controlled by these buttons. But the meter is also replaced in this car, and the owner has installed a Maxi-Dot cluster. This Maxi-Dot gauge cluster looks much better than the stock one, and it has a much functional MID. It has settings that you can change on the go. The owner is so particular about the details that he has even changed these wiper arms. These are Euro spec wiper arms which are much better and much higher quality than the stock ones. This is so subtle that nobody is ever going to notice it, but they have changed it. Being subtle, this car also has front parking cameras. The Rapid only comes with 3 parking sensors at the rear, but now this car has 8 parking sensors, 4 at the rear and 4 at the front. Continuing on the trend of OEM and subtle mods, we are going to do some mods of our own on this car. Beginning with these dark green tinted glasses. These have a 70% visibility and a 30% tint. This was offered by Volkswagen themselves in the last run of their Ventos and Polos. So these are totally legal. This is a piece of tinted glass. This is not a film. So nobody can question you on that either. We are also going to add electric seats to this car. These are Volkswagen Passat seats which are heated, ventilated, and they are 12-way electrically adjustable. Right now we will only activate the ventilation part of it. Now these are PQ35 platform seats, and in order to install them in our PQ25 Rapid, we need these adapter plates. Now these plates are 8mm thick and they have been designed by us over the course of almost 3 years and 4 iterations. So these have been tested, these are proven. We also provide the hardware with these. If you wish to install these seats yourself, you will require this adapter plate unless you wish to drill into your chassis, which we don't want to. The owner has decided that they will be going for a beige and a dark beige theme, continuing the OEM theme of the car. So we have the trim panels painted in this shade which matches the interior. These will later be reupholstered. That is not my job. My job is to install them. These will be reupholstered later on. Let's begin the installation first by replacing the stock glasses with the dark green tinted ones. Now in order to remove the stock glass, you need to remove the door card, remove this panel right here, remove a grommet that goes here, and then you will see particular locks which hold the glass to the mechanism. And in order to remove the glass from the rear door, you need to remove the entire rubber framing of the door. So once all of that is done, the glass can just slide out. Now I have a dedicated video on the installation of these glasses on my channel. So if you're really interested, you can go check that out. But now that this glass is removed, let's install the tinted one. it is all done. 1 done, 3 to go. Now the front is pretty similar. You need to remove the door card, remove this plastic trim piece, 1 grommet, and then just loosen 2 T30 screws. And that's it. The front is really straightforward and it can come right out at an angle, just like that. Now let's install the dark green tinted one. And just like that, the passenger front is installed as well. 2 more to go. Alright, the tinted glasses are now installed and looking great. Let's work on installing the seats next. But till then, have a look at the glasses. Now with the interior taken apart, it is going to be much easier to route this wiring and then install the seats. But we cannot route the wiring like this. We need to apply felt tape on it. And the reason we have the center console taken apart is because there is a good solid ground beneath the center console where we are going to ground the seats. So that is the reason we had to take it apart. Alright, the wiring is taped up. It looks like a factory loom now. Let's install it in the car finally. So I have the wiring routed till here. Now I overestimated the length I required. I required 25% less, but that's fine. So this will go straight to ground. These are the 2 powers, ignition and constant, which will go at the back of the fuse box, for which I need to remove this. The owner is running 2 separate dash cams, so this mess is for that. I'm not gonna play around too much with that. But in order to remove the fuse box, I first need to remove the vent behind it. So let's do that. With this vent removed, we can now easily remove the fuse box. Now the fuse box is removed. Let's open it. And there are these 2 locks which we need to undo, these 2, and then we can add our wiring to it. Now the main power goes to fuse number 44. And you hear that tick, it's logged in. This goes to 15, which is in the middle right here. Or is it at the top? It's right here. Oh, it's already occupied in this. We need to find something else. That's fine, we will. So this is constant power. This is ignition. And it is empty. It is fuse number. Oh, it is 15. I was reading it incorrectly. Okay, we have ignition power right here. It needs to go in 15. That's fine. We'll do that. Just like that. Ignition power is in as well. And we are done with the fuse box. Alright, the fuse box is back in, the power has been given. Now we just need to give it CAN bus and ground, and then the driver seat will be entirely wired. Now in order to give CAN bus, I'm going to utilize this Y tab. Remove the CAN bus from the BCM, which is the CAN comfort. It should be in 18, 19 is CAN bus high, or I think drivetrain. So 20, 21 should be CAN bus comfort. So I will remove 20 and 21, add them here, and then once they are here, I will give this CAN bus back to the BCM. This goes here, creates a loop, seat gets CAN bus, BCM gets this CAN bus back. No wire cutting. So this is the BCM, this is the white connector which has the CAN bus in it. It has two locks at the top on either side, just need to remove them. With those locks removed, this can be pulled out, and this just needs to be separated. With it separated, we just need to remove the green and brown pair of CAN bus. Which is in 21 and 22. Actually 20 and 21. And just like that, these pins are out. I just need to add them in this block. 1 is for CAN high and 3 is for CAN low. And just like that, the grey and orange brown wires have been inserted where originally the CAN comfort was. Now I just need to put this loop here, and that will complete the connection. Alright, now with the CAN bus wired, we just need to add the ground. I have already routed it from here. We just need to put it right there. Let's do that now. Alright, with the bolt removed, we can add our ground wire properly. Just like that. Alright, with that done, the driver's seat is entirely wired. Let's put the seat in, check if all the connections are good, and then we will extend this harness on to the passenger side later on. Let's put the driver's seat in. So in order to mount the driver's seat, we need to first install these brackets in the car. So let's do that first. So this is the adapter plate, which is really easy to install. The longer gap portion of it goes to the rear. It faces the rear. And these are the bolts which act as studs provided in the kit. They rest in the collar right here. So you just need to put the stud in. Put the stud in for the rear as well. Align these holes which utilize the stock bolt of the seat, and this is how they get mounted. Before tightening this bolt all the way, make sure the stud is at the furthest corner away from the center of the car. So with this side installed, let's move on to the other side. Alright, with the bracket now installed, we are ready to put the seat in. Let's do that. Before we put the seat in, let's power it properly. We will install a 25 amp fuse in fuse number 44, which will directly power both the seats. And for ignition, which will power the ventilation, we will use a 10 amp fuse, a mini fuse. Before we can install the seat inside of the car, we also need to cut these two alignment pins we need to make these flush with the surface, so we need to cut them off entirely. Let's do that. So this is the alignment dowel which was right here. It is cut flush with the surface, and same with the front one right here. Alright, the seat is now in. Let's connect it and get it in a favorable position so that we can bolt it down. Alright, the connector is plugged and the seat works. Alright. Front bolts are in. Now it's time for the rear bolts, but let's at least start the front bolts. Alright, the front bolts are in. It is time for the rear bolts. And if you can notice, we have also removed the steering wheel to make some more room and not scratch the steering wheel. So this is the rail end. This is a plastic covering at the very end, and it locks in a place at the rail. So we need to remove this lock, remove this part, and where this lock goes is where the final bolt goes. So I'm going to remove this lock, but place this plastic trim piece back in. Just like that. The lock has been removed, but this goes back. Alright, with the seat installed, let's test it out. Pretty good. All the functions work. Let's see if the gateway picks it up. Alright, it reads driver's seat, which means we have done it correctly. Let's code it now. Alright, it is now coded. Does it show any faults? Alright, motor for lumbar longitudinal adjustment. Alright, it's just longitudinal adjustment of the lumbar motor. That seems faulty, but even that fault seems to have gone. Alright, we have a seat with no faults. It's green, it's connected, it's working properly. Perfect. Now I'm going to enable easy entry into this. So I just enabled easy entry. Now if I remove the key, open the door, it should move back. Let's test that out. Now if I remove the key, the seat should go back. And it did. Flawless. On rakna. Perfect, it's working perfectly. Even the ventilation is working. And it is on ignition. That is by design, because if you forget that you have the ventilation on and you remove the key and it was powered directly to the seat, it would run forever and drain your battery. But now, if I turn it off, the ventilation turns off as well. Now it is difficult to portray how ventilation works, but with the help of this microfiber cloth, you can see it will start to levitate. And this is how the ventilation works. Before I put the other seat in, I need to address the rear footwell light situation. The owner has installed rear footwell lights in this, but whoever installed them did such a terrible job with this wiring. The wiring is really, first of all, it is really terrible. Second of all, this is not properly covered. This is just heat shrink. And the gauge of the wiring is a little too thick for footwell lights. And the connector is incorrect. This is just a butchered up connector. It is just shoved in and it barely works. So this is the correct connector right here. Goes properly inside of the footwell light. And this is the correct gauge of wire. So I'm going to add entirely new wiring for the rear footwell. Because Passat seats don't have a rear footwell light. Superb seats do have it. But anyway, I'm going to fix this mess and then install the other seat. So just like that, I have wired and soldered the wiring for the rear footwell on the passenger side. Earlier on, it was really thick. It was a really thick gauge, which should not have been the case, and the wires were just twisted together, which should not be the case. So everything is soldered, it's proper gauge now, and it looks much neater than before because it has felt tape on it. So it looks like a factory harness. So just like the driver's seat, I have also installed the passenger seat, and I have also rewired the footwell lights. As you remember, they were really poorly wired and they didn't have the correct connectors. Now that is entirely rewired and they are installed inside of the seats at the back. These seats do have a bracket for the light, but they were never offered with a light. So I've added them, and I've also added an extra connector so that if in the future the seat needs to be removed, they can just unplug the connector. So it'll be really easy for them. Anyway, now all I need to do is put everything back together because the car is in shambles right now. Everything is taken apart. I just need to put it all back together and then show you the final result. So I've put the car back together entirely. Everything on it has been done. Have a look at it. So if you want any mod that was mentioned in this video done to your car, reach us out on That Red Sells Instagram and I'll be sure to help you out. Till then, thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next one.